Good morning, everybody. We are starting a new season, a new liturgical year, and that is Advent. So the color is violet, and violet, because of these 4 Sundays, it's a shade of dark because we want to proclaim the glorious white of Christmas, the Feast of the Lights, the light of the world. So we are preparing in this short season of Advent for the second highest and feast of our liturgical calendar. That is the mystery of the incarnation of God's Son. In the first reading, Isaiah talks about the mountain. In the totality of Scripture, mountain represents a place of meeting, a place of encounter, where God shows Himself. So the divine theophanies, the manifestation of God in Scripture, in the Old Testament, happened always on mountain places. And so Isaiah talks about the mountain of the Lord's house. And he hopefully prophesies that all nations shall stream toward it. And then he makes a hopeful invitation to each and every one of us. Come, let us climb the Lord's mountain. Yan po ang lugar kung saan natin makakaniig ang Diyos. Yan ang lugar kung saan nagpakilala ng simula ang Diyos. Nagpakita kay Moises. At yung bundok na yan, ang siyang sinasagisag din ng bundok ng Kalbaryo. At ang bundok ng sanktuaryo, ang altar kung saan ang dakilang sakripisyo na nagpakilala bilang Mesiyas at tagapagligtas ay ginagampanan natin tuwing tayo'y nagsisimba. Sa ikalawang pagbasa narinig natin kay San Pablo in his letter to the Romans, he tells us, it is the hour to wake from sleep. And then he says, throw off deeds of darkness and come to the light. In the third reading from Matthew, we are told that people during the time of Noah, they did not know, they did not realize, they were not aware until the floods came. They were so focused on what they were doing, the daily drudgery of life, their daily concerns, their worldly and material concerns. They were not aware until the floods came. So, let us make sense of this here and now, because Scripture is not about what happened. Scripture is about what is happening to us and how we find parallels between what Scripture of old tells us and what is happening in our lives here and now. So, pwede po nating bigyan ng malalaking leksyon at bigyan ng lagom ito sa isang salita. We can look at the big lessons of all the 3 readings and summarize it in one word: awareness, kabatiran, kamalayan. Ano po ang elemento nitong kamalayang ito? What are the elements of this awareness that Scripture reminds us of today? Number 1, be aware about God. He calls us to the mountain of meeting. So you are invited to be aware that this Mass is not about me. This Mass is not about you. It's about God coming down to us in sign and symbol, in word, in music and song, and in action. Know about God. And the mountain of meeting takes place here, up on the sanctuary, on the altar. Number 2, know also and be aware that you may be asleep. And so we must be conscious that we need to wake up. We are asleep in many forms. When we believe TikTok more than we believe the New Testament. When we believe social media influencers more than we believe the church. When we believe Chinese-funded TikTokers and social media influencers more than we believe priests and preachers. Be aware and wake up from your stupor. Number 3, know that you may be part of the culture of darkness. St. Paul tells us, throw off deeds of darkness. If we are not aware, pare-pareho tayong patuloy na ibinoboto ang mga mandarambong. You are not aware and not blissfully unaware, miserably unaware. Kung tayo ay natutulog sa kangkungan at nagpapabudol sa 3,000 bago mag-eleksyon, you are miserably unaware. Kung tayo ay nabubudol ng 2 pamilyang dambuhala na magkaaway at gustong magpatayan, you are miserably unaware. Bakit? Natutulog tayo sa kultura ng politics of identity, politics of populism, politics of polarization. You are asleep. Natutulog tayo sa kangkungan. Number 4, be aware that we may all be focused right here, right now, on the wrong things. Bakit? Yung ating POV, yan ang gustong-gusto ng mga Gen Z at ng mga digital natives sa TikTok. Yung ating POV ay laging ngayon at dito. We see only the here and now. We don't see anything beyond our noses. We see only what is good for me right here, right now. Kung kaya, bakit nananalo ang mga mandarambong sapagkat ang mandarambong ay maraming pwedeng ibayad sa mga kulang sa pangunawa at kulang sa edukasyon. And that means you and me. Kung ang ating point of view ay hindi 10 years from now, anong ikakadakila at gaganda ng ating bayan? Hindi. Ang ating point of view, anong isasaing ko mamaya? Anong uulamin naming bukas? Ano ang ibibigay ni Mayor sa piyesta namin? Tolda na may pangalan nila. Ang ating point of view ay umiikot lamang sa palibot natin, the here and the now. We are blissfully, miserably unaware of the future that we are called to, the glorious liberty of the children of God. But we prefer to be enslaved by political dynasties. Kung kaya ang iboboto ninyo ay yung mayor, yung pamilya nilang mayor sa nakalipas na 40 taon na. So, what then do we make of this? After the big lessons summarized in one word, awareness, the Lord tells us to be deeply aware. And here I'd like to ask help from my favorite writer who wrote this in the 1970s. Paulo Freire, he talked about conscientização. Conscientização is a Portuguese word that means malalim na kamalayan, malalim na kabatiran, malalim na kamalayan at kaalaman. Not the type of knowledge that comes from TikTok. The problem with this is, since I've been teaching, this is my 51st year as an educator. I started teaching in 1975, before I even graduated from college. It is very hard now to teach the young people. The young people that I teach now are different from the young people 30 years ago. Bakit? When I talk about conscientization at 8 o'clock in the morning of a Friday, by 12 o'clock they have seen TikTok. And TikTok, borado ang lahat ng natutunan sa umaga. At ang pinaniwalaan nila si Lorraine Badoy o yung mga vloggers na funded by China. We have a big problem. Pinakabobo na tayo sa Southeast Asia. Pinakamababa ang IQ, average IQ. Hindi tayo marunong kumilala, hindi tayo marunong kumilatis, hindi tayo marunong mag-discern, hindi tayo marunong ng critical thinking. Kung kaya nabubudol tayo ng social media, napansin nyo nagpapakain ng lugaw, sandamakmak ang social media pages. Sino ang napopondo? Sino ang magbabayad sa mga trolls? Sino ang namimigay ng pera para mag-likes at nagbigay ng emoji? At pare-pareho ang sinasabi ng mga trolls na ito. And I'm talking about the battle royale between the two great families, one from Ilocos and one from Davao. At ang Pilipino ay nagpapabudol sa pareho. At nakalimutan na natin ang mga ninakaw na trilyong piso. Bakit? Malapit na ang Pasko. Ang Pilipino ay napakahina ng memorya sapagkat malapit na ang Pasko. Pagdating ng Pasko, malilimutan na natin yung Diskaya, malilimutan natin yung mga nakalimutan ko yung mga pangalan, mga Gallardo or Lubiano at Escudero at Romualdez at marami pang iba. Makakalimutan natin bakit? We have such short memories. But we Christians, we Catholics are a people of the memorial. And that is the reason why you come to Mass Sunday in and Sunday out, because we are upholding the great memory of a God who came down and became one of us, a God who calls us, let us go up rejoicing to the mountain of the Lord, a God who calls us to throw away deeds of darkness, a God who calls us to be aware not only of the here and the now, yung 3,000, 3 kilong bigas at 3 555 sardines, at 3 Lucky Me. We are called to be more aware of something nobler, something greater, something that leads to glory, the glorious liberty of the children of God. Our awareness is not only knowing with the mind. The awareness that God calls us to is knowing with the heart, knowing with the fullness of our personhood, a heart attuned to God, a heart attuned to truth, and not the truth of Marcos or Duterte, a heart attuned to the truth that saves, a truth that liberates, not the truth of the political dynasties that fool us always, all the time, a truth about a call to greatness. We are called to join the noble ranks of nations, proud of their heritage, not proud of 2 names, one from Ilocos and one from Davao. We are called to go up to the mountain of the Lord. And when we go up to the mountain of the Lord, you cannot go up the mountain if you're saddled with issues, if you're saddled with your laptop and your desktop. You have to throw away and leave behind what obstructs you from going up. You have to leave behind and be deeply aware that you are enslaved by ignorance, enslaved by cultural poverty, enslaved by material poverty, and enslaved by spiritual poverty. So, this Sunday of Advent, as we begin a new season, a new color, we begin a new attitude. And that attitude begins with the first candle that we lit. And that first candle that we lit is the candle of hope. And let me tell you a little from my own story. Having been teaching for 51 years, I've had so many students. This past week, I've been very sad. I've shed a lot of tears. My former student, a very good priest, a very good apostle and pastor, died all of a sudden. It's not according to nature that our students should die ahead of us. It's not according to nature that your children should die ahead of you. And when they do, then you are led to the realization that life is a mystery, a gift to be unwrapped one layer at a time. And sometimes you unwrap it with tears, with frustration, with depression. But when I recite my 8 or 10 or 12 rosaries during the day, when I'm caught in traffic and I have a spare time to add an additional rosary, and when I celebrate with people like you who listen, who participate, and who I know are listening to me right now, then I am led back to where I should be, to hope. Let us go up rejoicing to the house of the Lord.